Yeah. And then, so this is the beginning of this unit. And then, look at here. Here's the review sheet. All right. So, I don't know, kind of a tough unit. I think you all have done tough unit because a lot of people miss for a lot of different reasons. So I'm a little bit worried. I'm kind of rushing the test. It's been a good semester. I've really enjoyed teaching this. Lincoln probably one of my favorites, if not my favorite thing to teach. So I want to make sure that everybody's doing okay on the test here. So let's make this. Oh crap! All right, let's go right here. Come on now, get bigger. There we go. There we go. So maybe you can see that a little better. There we go. All right. Okay, so we're starting back right after the Mexican-American War. So let's go over here. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? And boom. Okay, so it was the Wilmot Proviso there that said, hey, don't let it spread at all. All right, so the whole question is slavery going to spread? Not are you going to get rid of slavery? It's going to become that question. But start off with, is it going to spread? And Polk had said, no big deal, nobody lives out there. That boom, you got the gold rush. All right, so discover the gold, the 49ers go out there. And so then you got to decide, because remember, 6,000 people, they can apply for statehood. So you got to decide whether or not California is going to be a free or a slave state. Hey, it was the Wild West. Levi's, remember Levi Strauss blue jeans was invented. All right, so you go down right there. And then, okay, so the Compromise of 1850 is going to be, so Taylor died. Compromise of 1850 is going to be the initial response. So California's not going to have it. You don't know whether Utah and New Mexico is. And then you're going to have that Fugitive Slave Act. All right. Other parts to it, no slave trade in Washington, D.C. Texas going to lose some land there. All right. So then probably going to have, boom, you got Harriet Tubman, right? So it wasn't a real railroad. So these places where people hid. She was the most famous conductor. Remember, she was violent. She was willing to use violence. And I'm going to stand up, take my people with me. Together we are going to a brand new home across the river. You remember that? That was good stuff. Now I know those of you who are now happy that I quit singing, you're haters, and I'm mad at you. All right, but let's see. Take a look. All right, so the conductors was the Underground Railroad. Okay, so then we're getting on into things. So the anti-slavery book. Remember that one's Uncle Tom's Cabin. All right, so we'll go back. Boom, there we go. See if we can find us some Uncle Tom's Cabin. Da, 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 da. There it is. Uncle Tom's Cabin, about how bad slavery was. How bad the Fugitive Slave Act was. Uncle Tom was this well-behaved slave, and he ends up getting sold down the river. You remember about that. Okay, Lincoln credited Harriet Beecher Stowe for starting the Civil War. All right, so the Kansas-Nebraska Act is going to say Kansas and Nebraska, and you now know where Kansas and Nebraska is since we've done the map. They're above that Missouri Compromise line, so if they're voting on that, that's going to repeal the Missouri Compromise. And hey, what happens when they vote? They start fighting each other there in Kansas. Remember the Kansas Jayhawks? A Jayhawk is like a imaginary bird that's going to torment and kill pro-slavery folks. And John Brown, we first see John Brown there. He and his sons do the Pottawatomie Massacre. Remember, it's hard to say, Pottawatomie. Hacked up, chopped up pro-slavery families with these broadswords. All right. So you got Brooks, Kane, and Sumner. Sumner's making his comeback during Reconstruction. All right, so then you got the Dred Scott case. So he got taken north. He sued for his freedom. Supreme Court said he was property. You can take your property anywhere. So, hey, Congress can't pass laws limiting where you take your property. So, boom, Abraham Lincoln gets upset. So you had the Lincoln-Douglas debates, and they argue about whether popular sovereignty exists anymore. Whether or not states can. Popular sovereignty is the ability of a territory to vote down slavery. All right. So let's go back over the review sheet, see what we're looking at. All right, Dred Scott, Lincoln Douglas. All right, so we're getting close to the war. Let me see. There it is. Okay, here comes John Brown doing his raid. Harper's Ferry, Virginia would go on to become West Virginia. It was in Western Virginia. He was sentenced to hang. So the Northerners saw him as a big hero, a martyr. The Southerners saw him as a terrorist. He's going to give guns to the slaves, start a big slave revolution. Lincoln gets elected 1860. Boom. All right, so he's all upset about the Dred Scott case, really. And when he gets elected, boom, there goes secession. 7 southern states. South Carolina, look at it right there. South Carolina, Georgia, Florida, Alabama, Mississippi, Louisiana, Texas. And then you got the other ones up there in a minute, the other 4. All right. So those are the states that he won. Okay. So there's the 7 states there. 7 states that seceded. Okay. All right. So then you're going to have war going, right? That's kind of fun. All right. Let's take a look at the review sheet. Where'd it go? Is this it? All right. So what? You got secession. Fort Sumter is the first shots of the war. Confederates, they got better generals, better shots. The home field advantage. So much of the battles in Virginia. Union big advantage is resources. They got everything you want in a war. All right. Well, you know that Stonewall Jackson, first battle of Bull Run. Then McClellan gets hired, and he won't attack. So let's see if we get some slides that say that. Find us some slides that say that. All right. There's Stonewall Jackson. There's Fort Sumter, first shots. All right, so then you get 4 more states: North Carolina, Virginia, Tennessee, Arkansas. All right, there's the advantages. Better generals, better shots, more of everything you need in war for the North. 2 presidents, that's important. Lincoln, he's strong, habeas corpus, he's strategic. The Emancipation Proclamation, he grows, he becomes a better president, gives the war a right and wrong reason rather than just a political reason. At the beginning of the war, it's just to preserve the Union, but then by the end of the war, hey, God punished us with this war for slavery. All right, and Jefferson Davis just didn't have that much power. Okay, let's see what we got. Well, we've done that one. All right, so there's McClellan there. He's the guy that, doesn't want to attack. Good at drills, but slow to attack. All right, so then you got Antietam there. So you want to win in the North. He'll get British support, but he dropped his plans. So then Lincoln does Emancipation Proclamation. All right, just setting the slaves free in the rebellious territories. Of course, they're not going to let them go because they don't see him as their president. Not in the border states. So you got that. You got that depressing quote, if I could set them free, some of them free, none of them free, it's all about preserving the Union. Okay, let's see. There's that again. There's that quote. All right, look at it. If I could save the Union without freeing each slave, I'd do it. If I could save it by freeing all the slaves, I'd do it. If I could save it by freeing some of the slaves, I would do it. So in other words, the purpose of the war in 1862 and in 1861 is to preserve the Union. And he feels like the Emancipation Proclamation will help preserve the Union because he's going to help the Union win the war because it can keep Britain out of it. Now, he'll get better. He'll grow. All right, we know that. There's Better Angel of Our Nature. That's the first inaugural address. Okay, there out west, you got Grant at Vicksburg. Not a 3-day siege. That's wrong. It's a 2-month siege. 3-day siege. 2-month siege. We watched on the film today. He was 5 feet 8. He was a little guy. All right, let's take a look and see what we got. All right. So that's Grant, Vicksburg. So Gettysburg's coming next, and you got the speech and Sherman, really. All right, so let's find stuff on that. All right. Boom. Okay. So there's the Anaconda Plan, cut off the supplies. There's Burnside. Burnside didn't quite make the cut on the review sheet, but he's fun. All right, Chancellorsville got killed by friendly fire. Gettysburg. So there it is. 3-day battle. Pickett's charge. That's Pickett right there. I don't know if y'all saw it. That was the other Southern general, Pickett. All right. So then you get Sherman. Sherman's, hey, war's got to be held. Got to be held to break the will of the South. You know, and Atlanta's that transportation center. All right. And so then the surrender, Appomattox. Okay. Let's see if there's anything else we need to see on the review sheet. Then we'll go down to Reconstruction. Oh, so you got the speeches. All right, so let's go speeches. Let's find some speeches. So there's habeas corpus. Emancipation Proclamation. All right. Gettysburg. 3 days. So that's the geography. That's the slides we saw about geography, location. So Fort Sumter, South Carolina, Antietam and Gettysburg, they're both in the north. You know, they got those things in common, least screwed up. So there's Chamberlain and Longstreet. You know, there's those Chamberlain's the hero of the Battle of Gettysburg. Longstreet tried to tell him not to do the Pickett's charge. And Gettysburg, Lincoln's making the American identity about the Declaration of Independence, the American Revolution, not the Constitution. There's Vicksburg. So we talked about that. All right. So there's Sherman, habeas corpus. Let's see. Okay. So there's Gettysburg. All right. There you go. So there's the slide. So, hey, 7 years ago, that's the American Revolution, Declaration of Independence. All right, our identity, born in liberty. All right, can't be for nothing. They can't have died for nothing. The nation under God. So, these guys died to save the soul of a nation, to redeem America, to make us who we're supposed to be. All right, and then, you got that. Let's see if we can find us some. You got that. All right, so there we go. Sock Jollop lies an old man trap. All right. Okay, so in the first inaugural, he talks about the better angels over nature. Okay, and so then the second inaugural, hey, slavery was somehow the cause. All right, maybe God willed it. Maybe it's punishment. And if it's God's will that, for every blow of the lash another soldier dies, well, then so be it. All right, and then you got the malice towards none part. We're going to forgive everybody. And he's thinking about Reconstruction now. We now know you're not going to hit the South where they're down. That's beautiful stuff. We also know that means you're kind of nice to the slave owners. The slave owners still ain't ready to be nice to the former slaves. So he would have run into some problems. Of course, he didn't live to see those problems. All right, boom, boom, boom. Okay. So now you got Reconstruction. So all these folks on the left, these are basically the same conflicts. They're the same folks. All right, so there it is. All right, so presidential reconstructions go easy on them. Of course, Lincoln died, so Johnson's a Southerner. He wants to go easy on him because he is Southern. The freedmen, same old, same old. They're not called slaves anymore, but they're sharecropping tenant farmer where they stay in debt. All right, let's take a look at the review sheet, what the review sheet says. All right. Do we need something on that? Probably so. What if I did this? Let's get us a little more. There we go. That way it's all right. And it's John Wilkes Booth, but he probably doesn't. Okay. Let's go with that one. Jobs of former slaves. Okay, I like that. I'm going to go ahead and send that. Let's see if I can send that. Nah, don't do that yet. Let's finish. Okay. So those are the black codes. He got impeached for violating the Tenure of Office Act. He didn't get convicted. All right, and then the last part of it, Grant takes over. And the Military Reconstruction Act, the South gets divided into 5 military districts. Let's see if we can find that. Freedmen's Bureau. Hey, if we got something on the Freedmen's Bureau, I hope. Dang it. Let's make that one smaller. All right, then I'm going to turn into 41. Remember, they didn't give him any land. That was important. Really needed that land. Oh, crap. Anti-Reconstruction, racist. You got to have the Klan in there. Good night. Organization. Let's get rid of that. There we go. We know that one. And then we can go down here. All right. So there you go. There you go. All right. So let's go back up here and take a look at it. All right. Freedmen's Bureau closed. So that's what Freedmen's Bureau did. Okay. It helped Indians and poor whites too. The black codes. They had to work. They had to have a job. All right. Okay, so he keeps vetoing stuff. You know, the radicals can't stand him. He keeps vetoing stuff. So they override the veto, so they pass the Tenure of Office Act. So he broke it. They impeached him, but he came within one vote of getting convicted. All right. So there's the Reconstruction Act. 5 military districts. Carpetbaggers and scalawags are the ones helping. Crap, I bet that's not on the review sheet. Let's see. Dang it. Dang it. So what am I going to do? Oh, look at there. That's a double. That's a rerun, so we can get rid of that. Boom. Boom. All right, and then we'll put it right there. Helped with Reconstruction. Carpetbaggers and scalawags. Okay, then we go back over there. All right, so there it is. They're the ones that helped. They had a bad reputation. South, you know, they were often good people, but the Southerners resented them because they resented Reconstruction. So then you get the 14th Amendment. Please tell me I've got Reconstruction amendments on that review sheet. All right. Let's just finish this up. But the Klan did his thing, and then Grant takes on the Klan. So I mean, he's a hero for a lot of reasons. I got me a big book about Grant. I got to read that over. I got to read that over Christmas. He's a giant. You know, he gets doesn't get enough credit. All right, and so what's going to happen is you're going to have this election, and as a result of the election, the Republicans going to get elected, Tilden, but in response to that, Reconstruction is going to end. So that's going to bring Reconstruction to an end. All right, let's see over here. We've got to get some Reconstruction amendments in here. I mean, Reconstruction agency. Good gracious. Let's do it this way. We'll get Grant going, because most of these amendments happened with him. We kept it on there. All right. Very good. Okay, that's it. All right, let's see. I got to click this thing. Hopefully we got us